I wanted to ask you, Vice President Gore, what if that we do what you say? We reduce the carbon dioxide emission, we shut off all industrial activities, and we go on this impractical or impossible path of not using any energy except of the form you recommended. And then I wanted to know, please tell me, what will the temperature do when you don't have that? He simply refused to answer the question, because scientifically this is the question that they ought to answer. Before you go around telling people that this thing is going to kill everybody, kill the polar bear, kill everything that we love actually, including our own kids. Are you crazy? I mean, I really don't like that sort of approach to science, to life, because life is far more beautiful, especially with science around. Of course, I'm a science nut. So one should really put the best discussion about science to really give it a full flavor about what it means to actually be a human being and to live in this planet Earth. I mean, I'm really very for this sort of open discussion, except for situation like this morning turns into very amazing circus. I mean, one should not turn everything into a circus unless you're really only going to a show to see a circus. I mean, that's different when you bring your kids, but not treat science and policy and people, human being, as some kind of animal and circus in a cage. I mean, it's terrible. Okay.
And what are your thoughts on the UN climate summit so far? Have you been impressed or unimpressed? What do you think?
I am highly unimpressed by nature, by looking at what they've been saying and what they've been, what you call retroactively positioning themselves. In fact, I would say the large part of the presentation are mostly staged. I mean, what are they talking about precisely, about how many people agreeing this and that, where they haven't even got the evidence to answer to it? I mean, one of the popular evidence which is quite accurate, which is about this temperature satellite record, that is very accurate measurement of the global temperature, that shows you that the globe has been going up and down, but it's been flat trending for close to 19 years, while your atmospheric carbon dioxide is rising for this last, I would say, 19 years. Actually, the amount of rising about this is about 1/3 of all the total industrial revolution emissions so far, which is really substantial. 30% of that accumulated so far, been rising for the last 20 years or so. And yet you don't see the temperature rising according to what it must be if the CO2 is the key and the sole driver of the climate system. And that ought to give them a pause, a real pause about science, about what they actually understand about this carbon dioxide global warming idea. I wouldn't even call it a hypothesis, because they never framed this as a form of a scientific hypothesis or some kind of working, notion. I mean, this is terrible about how science is being treated. Again, like I say, the term is about circus. It's not about that. It's about facts and evidence. It's about what is your best possible explanation of the observed and measured phenomenon, right?
So why do you think, for example, that they're ignoring this almost 19-year pause in the temperature record and all these questions about their theory? I mean, in real science, you would ask questions, and if you have something like this, you would take a pause and you would stop. So what do you think they're really up to? Why are they ignoring all this?
Well, again, let's not assign anybody's motive. My own view is that they are very scared. I mean, you may have heard that they have even altered some of the terrestrial, the land surface and sea surface temperature data by making sure that now the trend of the last 19 years for some of the selected satellite, some of the sea surface temperature record to be a lot more steeper rising than flat trending. I will show some of the result. Why it's still flat trending? I'm sorry, unless you adjust the data. And it's fine to adjust the data if you can fully explain what's the reason. I mean, any error in your measurements and any imperfection in your measurement. And then to only correct the data only during the most recent 19 years where we have the best technologies, I would say, suspicious to be at best. Not even about science. I mean, this is probably about political driven sort of issues that I find it, again, very disgusting and very sad. And, it's very bad for science.